Good evening, Lizzie boys, and welcome back to my channel. So, something I've been thinking about recently, just with the announcement of new characters for G3. For example, a couple weeks ago, we learned that Caddy and Venus are going to be coming back in G3 in a new basic wave. And I'm guessing that's how they're going to do basic waves from now on, just like dual releases, like Abby and Claude, for example. Maybe we'll get more out of lines like Twyla, because Heath is going to get a doll through a new line called Scaradise Island. So I just thought it might be fun to today discuss some characters that I would love to see return to G3. There are a lot of characters in Monster High. Towards the end, we saw a lot get releases because, I don't know, they just had this thing going where they wanted to release 4 characters per film. For example, we got 4 new characters in Freaky Fusion, we got 4 new characters in Frights Camera Action, 4 new characters in Haunted, and finally 4 new characters in Great Scarier Reef. It took me a second to remember the name of that movie. So, yeah, they were on a new character streak. Not to mention, every year at Comic-Con, we would get 2 new dolls who had never gotten dolls before. They weren't always new characters. Iris and Manny were reused as backgrounders. Valentine and Wisp, they had always existed but never received doll releases. So there's a lot of dolls we got. There's a lot of characters that we met. So I figured it would be fun to discuss which ones I want to see return. You guys are welcome to leave your own lists in the comments below, but this video is about my opinions. So yeah, don't take anything I'm saying as fact. Let's begin. Character number 1 is Rebecca Steam. Rebecca is very important to me. She was one of my first ever favorite Monster High characters. I feel like I mentioned this a lot, but I love her so much. I don't talk about her that often, but when I do bring her up, I will always mention that she was one of my first ever favorite characters, one of the first characters I was ever drawn to, and one of the reasons that I got as into Monster High as I am. I would love to see her make a comeback, but there are a couple things that I would need to stay intact if she were to be brought back. For example, a big thing about Rebecca's character is that she was broken for like 100 years. She is 100 years behind the times, and that's funny. She uses a typewriter. She doesn't know what a cell phone is. She doesn't know what a camera is. You see everyone giving her like 3 different kinds of cameras. Frankie's even giving her some kind of weird pen thing with like 4 different types of ink. Rebecca has to keep that aspect of her character, in my opinion. I just think it's fun. I don't think I would want her to become like a super up-to-date character who knows everything about the modern times, because it kind of takes away part of her charm, you know? Rebecca was just such a fun character, and I absolutely loved her in every movie in which she appeared, which, honestly, towards the end, I did feel like they were using her a bit more, which I really appreciated. Prior to Friday Night Frights, she did not exist, but she was used a lot in that movie, and that easily could have been the last time they used her, but she appeared again in Frights Camera Action as a somewhat major character, even housing the vampire's heart to reveal that Elizabeth was the true vampire queen. And then she showed up again in Freaky Fusion, where they kind of reduced her character to just being really nice, and they did the same to Draculaura, which, I mean, that's kind of accurate to Draculaura, but we're not throwing shade here, we're just stating what they did in the movie to both of those characters. But yeah, they used Rebecca a lot, and I appreciated it. She even got a Comic-Con exclusive release, even though it was a bit lackluster. So yeah, Rebecca is a character that I would absolutely love to see make a comeback. I love her so much, and I hope that if she does return, they do her right. Character number 2 is Scara Screams. So since they've already brought back Iris, I feel like Scara is just a bit more likely. I don't know, in my head I think that they're best friends, but I don't think that's true. I don't think Iris has any best friends outside of like the main ghouls. Like, I'm pretty sure in her diary it's listed as like Frankie, Draculaura, and Manny. And since Iris didn't exist when Scara was released, I don't think her diary reflects as such either, but in my mind they're besties. So yeah. Scara is a character that I feel like has randomly picked up in popularity. Like, she's always kind of just been there, but recently I'm getting comments from people who are like, oh my god, you found Scara at the flea market? I wish that was me. And then I check their account and they're not a Monster High account at all. So it seems like she's made it outside of the Monster High fan base, which is definitely interesting, you know? Scara was released as a Comic-Con exclusive doll, but hey, so was Iris, and Iris was brought back for G3, so I don't see that as any sort of reason why she might not be in the generation. I mean, even Manny is in the generation and already has a voice actor. I don't know if Iris does. She might. I haven't watched every episode of the show. But, yeah, Skara is a definite character that I think should come back. She would be a lot of fun. The only aspects of her that I want them to keep would be her, sort of mod 60s style. It would be kind of sad if she lost that aspect of her. There's a lot of characters from Monster High who had, like, some sort of, like, an old style. Like, Rebecca's style was steampunk. Skara's style was, like, the 60s, like, mod style, you know? It's definitely something that I would want them to keep. And also, they need to keep the fully white eyes. I do not want her to lose that and gain, like, eyeballs. But yeah, basically, Skara, I would love to see her come back. She had plenty of dolls in G1 that I would love to see some references from, maybe out of her in G3. But for the most part, I just want to see her make a comeback. And the same goes for character number 3, Hoodooed Voodoo. So, Hoodooed was always a character that I thought was really interesting, especially the fact that he received a fully plush doll. I thought that was really cool, and I still think that's really cool. Similar to Skara, I thrifted him, and he hasn't picked up in popularity the same way that Skara has. The only thing that's gone up about him is his price tag, but that's just because of resellers and stuff. So, Hoodooed was a fun character in G1, and I would love to see that carry over into G3. He was created by Frankie because she wanted to have a boyfriend. She was pretending to have a boyfriend, so she made one. And by the end of the episode, when he just seemed like a plush doll that she was just kind of carrying around, it was revealed that he was alive, and Hoodooed became his own recurring character. He was bad luck. If he held anything that belonged to you, that's what it was, you would have the worst luck known to man, because Hoodooed also had the worst luck known to man. He was a living, breathing voodoo doll, and it was so much fun. I really like Hoodooed. His doll is fun, and while I do think it could have used some sort of skeleton inside, maybe a plastic one, maybe a wire one, just so he could have some posability, he was a very nicely made doll. And considering G3 is already, like, creating new body types for the characters, I don't think it's out of, like, the realm of possibility that they might try again to create a character like Hoodooed, like a fully plush one. I don't know. Maybe I am just being a little too hopeful for my own good, but Hoodooed is definitely a character that I would love to see again. Character number 4 is Wedona Spider, aka Webberella. That's her superhero name. This is yet another Comic-Con exclusive character, and what can I say? She's one of my favorite Monster High dolls ever created. The 6 arms, all with different poses to her hands, the outfit, the gorgeous red hair color. I love her hair so much. Wedona has one of the coolest designs in Monster High. You cannot change my mind. I proudly own 2 I Heart Fashion Wedonas just because I can't really easily get my hands on her original release. But yeah, Wedona is one of my favorite characters ever, and I really want to see her make a comeback. She was unfortunately very underutilized after her Comic-Con release, only really appearing as a background character in the movies, and never in the webisodes, even once. Maybe they couldn't figure out how to animate all 6 of her arms. I don't know. There was actually quite a few characters with more intricate designs who never appeared in the webisodes. For example, Bonita Femur. Why did I say her name like that? Bonita Femur and Avia Trotter. They never showed up in the webisodes, although Serena and Nathan did. We never saw any of the Great Scarier Reef characters in the webisodes, so Wedona wasn't the only one excluded, but I still felt her absence, and it hurt, man. Really hurt. So, basically, I think G3 could be their chance to redeem themselves on Wedona. If they brought her back and actually used her to her fullest potential, maybe some sort of reboot of the Power Ghouls, it would be pretty cool. I don't know, man. That sounds pretty cool to me. Our 5th character and our final character, unfortunately, I did want to fit Wisp onto this list as well, so if you want to pretend she's here as well, I mean, go for it. But officially, it is Kieran Valentine. What can I say, man? I'm an absolute whore for the Comic-Con exclusive characters. They just chose the coolest ones to make Comic-Con exclusives, I swear. So, yeah, Valentine. I have always loved Valentine. Even when I first watched the movie, Why Do Ghouls Fall in Love, which was unfortunately his only ever animated appearance, although we did get to see him again in a comic. But it's a bit cloudy whether or not the comics are canon. I think we can consider them as such because Valentine is redeemed in those, and he's also redeemed in his diary. But yeah, Valentine has always been one of my favorite designs out of Monster High. He just looks so cool, and when he finally got a doll, I was fucking ecstatic. I was so excited for this guy. And previously, I didn't really care about the Monster High boys, but then Valentine rolled around getting a doll release. I dropped $80 so fast. Yes, that's how cheap the Comic-Con dolls used to be on eBay. I was so happy to get this pack in person. And unfortunately, I did brush all of the glue that keeps his hair looking kind of decent out of my own doll's hair, but fortunately, my girlfriend did not do that, so when we one day combine our collections, we'll have my bad-looking Valentine next to her good-looking Valentine, so it'll all be fine. Having two Valentines under one roof is already holy enough. So Valentine was an absolute scheming bastard in the movies. He was just so ridiculous. I don't know, I loved him so much. He was just so much fun to watch. And while G3 does have a tendency to dumb down the meaner characters, for example, Nephra was turned into a kind, caring older sister in favor of whatever the fuck she was doing in G1. Toralei, they kind of just made her a racist with no friends, and she's kind of just influenced by her mom. That's what the implication seems to be, that she's not actually mean, she's just doing what her mom tells her to. So, yeah, they've kind of dumbed down a lot of the mean characters before. Like, before, Toralei would just cause problems just for fun. She just enjoyed it. And her cousins, they're not even mean at all. They turn Malady and Persephone into her cousins. So, what would they do with Valentine's character? Honestly, I don't know. But considering towards the end of G1, he was going for redemption, like he was becoming a better person, he had something going with that Speldon guy, who we still don't have a canon design for. Would love to see him back in G3, by the way. I would love to see them finally get together in G3. It'd be so cool. So, maybe if they did make Valentine nice, it would be a good closure of his character from G1. We can consider it like a bit of a continuation and the final chapter of his redemption arc, You like that idea? Probably not. You guys hate G3. So, yeah. With him, this list officially draws to a close. So, I'm gonna call it here. I didn't want to make this video too long, so we're only discussing 5 characters. But, as always, there's a ton of characters that I did not yet mention. I tried to leave off ones that have rumors of already coming back. Like, for example, it's already been rumored that Jennifer is going to be making a comeback. We know that Skeleta is. We've seen the leaked designs of her. There's also allegedly a leaked Mercedes design floating around somewhere. I don't know why her, but yeah. Don't ask me for it, I don't have it. So, yeah. There's a lot of leaks currently, speculation and such. So this is the list of characters that I would personally like to see a comeback. I do have more, so if you guys would like me to do a part 2 of this video, like for example, I didn't even talk about Kiyomi in this video, can you believe that? So yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, feel free to leave your own little lists in the comments below, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!